Hello there. Welcome back to the YouTube. Said it right this time. Nerves. What are you gonna do? I'm camera shy. Before we start, I wanted to make a little bit of an addendum to something I said in the first video in the series. Okay. I wanted to make certain that I had this right. And I did, but there was more to it. Basically, I looked up, in the first episode, we went over the whole women being a helpmeet thing, and how a lot of people interpret that as inferiority to men, which is not correct at all. I said more it was like, the actual Hebrew definition, because you have to remember this is the Old Testament's originally written in Hebrew, so there's a lot of context that, unsurprisingly, the English version can't quite match. It gets the idea, but not quite the same degree, you know? Similar to Greek in the New Testament. Anyway, I said I remember hearing that the original Hebrew term was, it just meant that, to be strong where one is weak, basically. There's more to it than that. Here's what I looked up. I wanted to make certain I got this right. The original term is ezer kenegdo, a power or strength corresponding or equal to, in this case, describing women, equal to man. It describes Eve, and all women in general, as a strong ally. It also means lifesaver and warrior. Ezer, also translated as helper, is used most often to describe God as a powerful aid in rescue and protection toward Israel. And unsurprisingly, considering we're using this to describe God, not inferior, just aid. Kenegdo it describes a counterpart to one. Specifically, an equal match to strengthen the other. As stated, different but equal. To be strong where one is weak. We are different. We have our differences, that much is certain. But we're also equal. We always have been, and that's what it was always meant to be. Anyone who says otherwise is silly. If you want to tell them that, just look up Ezer Kenegdo. EZERKENEGDO. The original Hebrew. There's a lot you can learn from the original Hebrew. If I remember correctly, there's something called a Strong's Concordance that I really want to get that goes into the original languages that these were written in, and, gives more context. Homework, look up Tetelestai. It's used in, when Jesus is dying on the cross and he says, "It is finished." He says Tetelestai. Look it up. It's neat. Anyway, that being out of the way, just wanted to clarify. Let's get to the actual thing, shall we? Chapter 35. Let's go, baby. And God said unto Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God, that appeared unto thee, when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother." Then Jacob said unto his household, and to all that were with him, "Put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. And let us arise, and go up to Bethel, and I will make there an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and was with me in the way which I went." We're doing this, and we're doing it right. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the oak which was by Shechem. Because unsurprisingly, don't want anything to do with them, just move them out of the way, hide them. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them. Considering his children just slaughtered an entire city, fair. And the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is, Bethel, and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar, and called the place El Bethel, which, fun fact, El is one of the Hebrew names for God. I'm pretty sure it literally just means I am, though I could be wrong on that one. I'd have to look that one up later. Because there, I can't speak. Because there God appeared unto him, when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel, under an oak. And the name of it was called Alon Bakuth. And God appeared unto Jacob again, when he came out of Padanaram, and blessed him. And God said unto him, note this one. A lot of people forget this one, and I can't blame them. They use his original name most of the time, mainly for convenience and not getting it confused with the people he's about to father. But, and God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. Thus, the reason they are called the children of Israel. So if you ever wondered, why are they called that? That's why. They were literally the children of the guy called Israel. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee. You're going to give birth to them. And kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in that place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. Commemorate the place. Considering. And Jacob called the name of the place where God spake with him, Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. She's not doing well. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, fear not, thou shalt have this son also. Like, don't worry, you're gonna be just fine, you're gonna make it through this. And it came to pass, as her soul was departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. Presumably it was a case of, in Syria, his name would be Benoni, but translated it'd be Benjamin. Presumably. No offense to Miss Israel. If my wife named my child mid-dying, I would not have touched it, but to each their own, I suppose. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. or once again unto the day this was written. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Edar. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine. And Israel heard it. Ugh. Gross. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The son of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. The son of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. In the original Hebrew, it's not Naphtali. I always presumed it was Naphtali. Nope, it's Naphtali. Similarly, it's not the book of Malachi, it's the book of Malachi. So there you go. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padanaram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years old. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Chapter 36. Now, these are the generations of Esau. God help me, I'm gonna butcher some of these names. Who is Edom? Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Bathshemash, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Ada bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel, and Aholibamah bare Jeush, and Jalem, don't know, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together. Blech. In other words, they had a lot of stuff and needed a lot more room than there was to actually hold it all. And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom, after all. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the daughter of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son. And she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel: Nahath, and Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These were the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. The daughter of Zibeon, Aholibamah being Esau's wife. You get the idea. Anyway, and she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jalem, don't know, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau. Very, very rich dudes. Very powerful ones as well. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Timon, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz, in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ada. I do apologize so much about the fact that I am screwing up so much. I blame the weather. It's cloudy outside. It tends to affect that type of thing. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son. Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Bashemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife. Duke Jeush, Duke Jalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, who inhabited the land, Lotan and Shobal and Zibeon and Anna, and Dishon and Ezer and Dishan. Dishon and Dishan. Boy, it must have been confusing when their mother would call for them. Like, did you call Dishon or Dishan? These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir, in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Horai and Hemam. And Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, and Shephel, and Onam. And these are the children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anna. This was that Anna that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the donkeys of Zibeon, his father. Oh, that Anna. Yeah, that makes sense. That guy, huh? And the children of Anna were these: Dishon and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anna. And these are the children of Dishon: Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Keran. The children of Ezer are these: Bilhan, and Zevan, and Akan. The children of Dishan are these: Uz, and Aaron. These are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anna, Duke Dishon, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Horai. Thus the reason they're called Horites. Among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom, before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab, don't know, the son of Zerah of Bozrah, reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham of the land of Timnai reigned in his stead. Husham died, and Hadad, the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died. And Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died. And Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan, the son of Achbor, died. And Hadar reigned in his stead. You gotta know this history. And the name of his city was Pau. P-A-U. And his wife's name was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their place. By their names, Duk Timna, Duk Alva, Duk Jetheth, Duk Oholibama, Duk Ela, Duk Penon, Duk Kenaz, Duk Teman, Duk Mibzar, Duk Magdiel, Duk Eram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. They were not a big fan of him, mainly because of this. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, not only with his wives, even with his sons. This man knew how to play favorites, because he was the son of his old age, and Rachel, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. Jealousy. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren. And they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obeisance unto my sheaf. In other words, bowed down in respect, and basically his clump of wheat, for all intents and purposes, was ruling over the rest. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he was just like, you think you can come in here, not only take our dad's affection, but think you're gonna rule over us? How selfish, how self-centered can you be? And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren. Really should have kept this one to himself after how the first one went, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. They were serving him now. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brother envied him. Like the nerve of this man. But his father observed the saying, kept it in the back of his mind. May be important for later, you never know. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. All right, I'll go. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, And behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. Ugh. Like, I know you don't like the guy, but he's your brother. Why are you wanting to kill him, man? And they said one to another, Oh, behold, the dreamer cometh. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben, the eldest, and very clearly the more responsible of them, heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, and deliver him to his father again. Smart. They can laugh at him in the pit, they can leave, Reuben can come back and retrieve him, and, all is well. Congratulations. Little brother not dead. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him, and they took him, and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes, and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead, with their camels, bearing spicery, and balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him. For he is our brother, and our flesh. And his brothers were content. Reuben currently is off sheep tending, presumably. Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Congratulations, you have enslaved your brother. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. Because, this is bad. And he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and whither shall I go? Dad's gonna kill me. And they took Joseph's coat. They did strip it off him after all. And killed the kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Now know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. His baby boy is dead. So he thinks. And he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold, Joseph, him into Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the guard. Chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren, and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her, and went in unto her. And she conceived, and bare a son, and he called his name And she conceived again, and bare a son, and she called his name Onan. We'll get back to Joseph in a bit, don't worry. And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. Shelah? Don't know. And he was at KJV when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. My gosh. Considering we just had, Joseph's brothers sell him into slavery, what did he do? Oh my gosh. And Judah said unto Onan, Go into thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. It's gonna have his brother's name on it, and I guess he just didn't like him. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, doing the do, that he spilt it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Gross, on so many levels. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord. He's, not a big fan of stuff like that. Wherefore he slew him also. Probably not just for that, but that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah, my son, be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. Considering, yeah, that's fair. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. This man cannot catch a break. And Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep-herders, to Timnath, he and his friend Hira the Adullamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she devised a devious little plan. And she put on her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. What is a girl to do? When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. Veil of shame type of deal, And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. Baby sheep. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge, till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. Ugh. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adullamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. And he asked the men of that place, saying, "Where's the harlot that was openly by the wayside?" And they said, "There was no harlot in this place." And he returned to Judah and said, "I cannot find her." And also the men at that place said, "There was no harlot in this place." And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her." And it came to pass about 3 months after that it was told Judah, saying, "Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and behold, she is with child by whoredom." And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. You've disgraced this family." And when she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, "By the man whose these are, am I with child?" And she said, "Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and the bracelets and staff, all the things Judah gave her?" And Judah acknowledged them and said, "She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son." And he knew her again no more, unsurprisingly. That was a weird situation, let me tell you. "And it came to pass in the time of her travail that, behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that, behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? His breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez, presumably, breach. And afterward came out his brother, that had the scarlet thread upon his hand. And his name was called Zara. Now, after that unnecessarily situation. It's unfortunate, but it did happen. Anyway, chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him off the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph. He's gonna make certain that nothing real bad happens to him. He's not gonna get killed, And he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did prosper in his hand. He could tell this man's got the magic touch. Every single thing that comes into his hands just basically gets turned to gold. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him well. And he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had put into his hand. Joseph, not only is he doing pretty good, considering the circumstances, he's also literally over the entire house. Every single bit of operation that this guy has, Joseph's got his hands in it, making certain it runs. And runs well. He's doing a good job. He's basically the manager. And it came to pass from the time that he made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house, and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had. It's just like, about how many cattle do we have, sir? I don't know. Joseph? Yep?
About how much we got? Cattle, specifically.
About 300.
300.
He didn't know a thing he had. It was just, Joseph got it. And he knew not aught that he had, save the bread he did eat, unsurprisingly. And Joseph was a goodly person and well-favored. In other words, he didn't try to screw him over. He did his job, and boy did he do it well. And it came to pass, after these things, that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph. And she said, "Lie with me." But he refused, and said unto his master's wife, "Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in his house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" It's like, look, I'm over everything in this house but you. I ain't doing this. Not only is this just wrong on so many levels, I like this guy. I don't want to betray him. I'm good, thank you. And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time, that Joseph went into the house to do his business, And there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." And he left his garment in her hand, and fled, and got him out. Fair. That'd freak me out too. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, "See, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled, and got him out." Lady, you are such a liar. And she laid up his garment by her until his lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, "The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, that unsurprisingly, he's probably going to trust the person, that's his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant unto me, that his wrath was kindled. He's miffed. And Joseph's master took him, and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound. Oof. And he was there in prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, and shewed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. And basically became manager of the prison. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. Man got put into every single horrible scenario, and boy did he make the best of it. Chapter 40. And it came to pass, after these things, that the butler of the king and his baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season where, took some time. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, and the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. They had quite the night. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of the Lord's house, saying,
Wherefore look ye sadly today?
And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them,
Do not interpretations belong to God?
Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in mine hand. And I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him,
This is the interpretation of it.
The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore unto thee thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. He may have been basically manager of the prison, but he was still in prison. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. And in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of bake meats for Pharaoh. Bread, baguette, croissant, such as. And the birds did eat them out of the basket of mine head. Out of the basket upon my head, And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. Oy. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler, and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Just like the dream, or the interpretation of the dream. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. Of course. Chapter 41. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years, my gosh, that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in the meadow. Nice, big, pardon the pun, beefy cows. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, skinny as a stick. Less beef, more beef jerky, you know? And stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. Cannibalism. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. Ooh, that was some good corn. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. Ugh, terrible. And the thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. Frankly, I want to see into the mind of Pharaoh. How does corn eat corn? How does the 7 ears devour the 7... How does the 7 bits of thin corn... How does it devour the other corn? Did the corn just have mouths in your dream? Like, how was that a thing? And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. This dream, it means something. I know it means something. I don't know what the heck it means, but it's gotta be something. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. It just wasn't possible. Luckily, we got a guy that's very good friends with someone that does a lot of impossible. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his... Excuse me, this is still the butler. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream, and one night, I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream, and was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Better late than frickin' never. Took ya 2 years. But ya finally mentioned him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed the dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not with me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed, and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And lean and ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as at the beginning.
So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered and thin and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. What does this mean?
And Joseph said unto Pharaoh,
The dream of Pharaoh is one.
it's not 2 messages, it's got 1 meaning.
God has shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. The 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh, what God is about to do he sheweth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall rise after them 7 years of famine. And all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous.
It's gonna be such a bad famine, you'd never know that this place ever had any food.
And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through famine.
And the thing was good in Pharaoh's eyes. He finally got an explanation. And in the eyes of all his servants. Yeah, sounds about right. Answers all the questions, yeah. And Pharaoh said unto his servants,
Can we find a one as this is? A man in whom the Spirit of God is?
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph,
For as much as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according to thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
he is literally the only authority above Joseph. Man went from manager of a house to manager of a jail to manager of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph,
See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt.
And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand. You see, he had this little ring that he would stamp official documents with. That way you know it was from the Pharaoh. And arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he made him to ride in the 2nd chariot which he had. And they cried before him,
Bow the knee!
And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph,
I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Saphnath Paneah. Give him more Egyptian name, you know. And he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. There was a lot of it. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn, as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering. It's just not worth it anymore. It's just too much. For it was without number. And Joseph was born, and unto Joseph, were born 2 sons, before the years of the famine, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God, said he, hath made me forget all my toil, and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim. For God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness was in the land of Egypt. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth, the famine, began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all the lands. But in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph. What he saith to you, do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses, and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands. That was a big old famine. Next time, I'm going to give you some fun facts related to Joseph's story. And we're getting real close, by the way, to the book of Exodus. So yeah. But, for now, thank you for listening. God bless. I hope I didn't butcher the names too bad. And I'll see you next time. Bye.